behind closed doors later on today. This ahead of its first Provincial Executive Council meeting. That meeting will be held at Dan Country Lodge in Mthatha. The PEC, together with regional structures, will spend the next 2 days discussing, amongst other things, a way forward after the chaotic and violent conference. Our reporter Unathi Binqose is attending the meeting, and we cross over to him now to get more developments as they unfold in Mthatha. Very good afternoon to you, Unathi. Thank you so much for joining us. When is that meeting expected to start? And I would imagine it's a highly anticipated meeting. And what's on the agenda?
Indeed it is, and I can tell you that it is well underway. It started at around 1 o'clock, and they were told that by 4 o'clock they should be done, and they will brief the media on what will be happening. But of course, we are barred from it as the media, but we have been following what has been happening through the social media updates, and I can tell you that one of the buzzwords that have been coming up time and again from this meeting has been the extension of the olive branch, particularly towards the faction that was defeated by a landslide margin, if I may add, and during the end of September Provincial Elective Congress. And of course, I can tell you that it is well attended. The hall is quite packed, and we've seen some NEC members, and of course the national spokesperson of the ANC, Mr. Zizi Godwa, is also among those who are in attendance in this meeting. But of course, to speak more about what is happening now and what will be happening tomorrow, we have the pleasure of being joined by the Secretary of the Provincial Executive Committee, Mr. Toby. We've managed to pull him out of this meeting, and he's our guest now. So a very, very good afternoon to you, and a warm welcome to this special broadcast. Tell me, it's long awaited. It took you quite some time. What is the reason behind that?
We had to postpone twice last week on the basis, one, that when we were supposed to sit for our Provincial Executive Committee, first Provincial Executive Committee, it's the same day that we were called to the national officials meeting to listen to the appeal that was lodged by comrades from the Eastern Cape. Henceforth, we had to postpone, and we had to postpone once again on Wednesday last week on the basis that the provincial chairperson and the deputy secretary were once again called into the national officials in Cape Town.
Let's say, and ugly scenes we saw during the elective congress a fortnight ago. Have you perhaps, and I see that a lot of the talk is around unity, extending the olive branch. Have you perhaps reached out to the other group?
Yes, of course, we have been making that particular call as the Provincial Executive Committee, that members of the ANC have a responsibility to work towards uniting the organization. Henceforth, we have made the public statements about the necessity to extend an olive branch and ensure that the organization is united in the Eastern Cape.
But we've seen some court challenges. Of course, it was challenged on the basis of the legitimacy of the conference itself by the disgruntled group. And of course, by that, I suppose it extends to you as the executive, your legitimacy. And we hear that there could be another round of a court challenge.
We are awaiting that. We are awaiting that with some enthusiasm, because we know that everything that was done in the conference preparation process was above board, transparent, and it has been echoed by the courts themselves. So it will be the second round, as you are saying, and we are waiting for that. And we are prepared for that, and we are sure that we will win even the second round in terms of the provincial conference preparations.
But it certainly does not bode well for the unity that you aspire for.
No, definitely. It's not okay, but it's something that we should live with, because they have democratic right to go to courts if they feel betrayed by the process. We are waiting for that, but of course we will continue to work towards the unity of the organization, to reach out to members of the organization, such that we can be able to isolate those elements that do not want unity of the organization, in particular in the Eastern Cape.
On the engagements you've had so far, what feedback are you getting from them?
There are many people that have fed back to the organization, in particular in the province, aside from the disgruntled population, but you can disgruntled members of the organization. But outside there, the population of the Eastern Cape are feeding very positively towards the elected leadership of the ANC. You will hear that almost all the bishops from the Eastern Cape, bishops and the church leaders, have congratulated us and have given us every support. All the kings, 6 kingdoms kingdoms of the Eastern Cape have congratulated us. The leadership of the business, all alliance components have shared the same sentiments that they are willing to work with the current Provincial Executive Committee. So there is no hullabaloo about our elections. Everybody is excited and they are looking forward to ensuring that we have a prosperous 4 years to come.
More worrying, though, to the residents of the Eastern Cape, including those who are not necessarily members of the ANC, is that a significant number of those who are perceived to be on the other side are in governance. How to run governance and with these two centers of power, with this friction between the two groupings?
Well, there are not two centers of power. There is only one center of power, which is African National Congress, in respect of the mandate, in terms of the authority, in terms of the everything that is supposed, in terms of the policy projections. Now, the expectation is that all members of the organization deployed by the organization to every center of governance should be able to be accountable from time to time to the organization. If there are any things contrary to what I'm saying, we'll be able to deal with them as the time comes.
Just before I let you go, I understand that a lot of focus is towards December, and a lot of people have been saying you are aligned to this candidate, to that candidate. What is the Eastern Cape stand going to December?
The process of the nominating branch general meetings are starting this week. Other provinces have already started, as seated today, the PEC, and we are preparing for that. As a consequence, tomorrow we'll be training all the regional executive committee, training the entire provincial executive committee on how to conduct that particular process. That's the first component of it. But the second component of it that we should not be shying away from is the reality that the provincial conference in an East Special Resolution was that the Eastern Cape will look at the means and ways of supporting the current Deputy President of the African National Congress as part of the historical process that the organization has been dealing with, the succession discussion. So we are leaning towards that particular process, but the nominating PGMs will be an ultimate arbiter about who the Eastern Cape will support, and as the leadership of the Eastern Cape will follow the process from the branch general meetings.
Sir, let us thank you very much for your time and allow you to get back to the meeting.
Thanks, everybody.
Well, that was Mr. Ngqaitobi, the Secretary General of the ANC, and of course, you've heard it for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. With that, from myself, Unathi Binqose, and Benito, it's a wrap in from Mthatha.